Good afternoon, families. It is Thursday, January 11th, 2024, and I am coming to you with our Robot Roundup vlog for the week. So we're going to get right into our top three. Families, please help all of our students following school rules and expectations by not throwing snow when you're here at Lake Bluff. So whether it's before school or after school, we're really just asking that families help set our example for leaving snow on the ground and not throwing it around. It's always important, and it's one of those rules that we just have to maintain when we're here at school. So please and thank you very much. Number two, with all that said, snow clearly, as of today, is back. So make sure that students are coming with appropriate clothing, hats, waterproof gloves, warm coats, snow pants, scarves, and most importantly, of course, boots. Students that don't have boots and snow pants can only play on the plowed blacktop because otherwise they get completely wet. Also at home, please, please, please practice the independent dressing of all of that snow gear to help us as a classroom get outside. So that means putting boots on, taking shoes off, putting shoes back on after taking your boots off, zipping things up. Sometimes zippers get stuck, and we totally understand that. But we want to make sure students are able to dress themselves and undress from coming outside as often as possible. So please and thank you. And number three, just as a reminder, we have no school this following Monday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and on this next Friday, the 19th, for records and planning. So let's get into our top things for the week. We have our winter fast bridge assessment starting this week on Monday and going through February 2nd. So this is when I'm going to sit down with each student and ask them some reading and phonics and math questions and observe their independent ability and how they have progressed thus far on our things. It's just a measure. It's one day. It's not necessarily how they are as a human being. It's just, have we noticed an improvement and have we picked up new skills since the beginning of the year? That said, in phonics this week, we have jumped right back into learning with letters of K and Y and V on this week. We continue reading short stories. So like this week, our short story that we started today is called My Bag. And so far we've read that Nan has some things in her bag, like a brown dog and 2 cats, 3 bats, and 4 hats. So we talked about how clearly those probably aren't real things. They're probably toys. But we're using our phonics to sound out words and make sense of a story and then match it with a picture as well. As we continue moving into writing, students are adding new kinds of details to their drawings. So as of today, we talked about how students should label their pictures. That starts by drawing a picture for a story and then adding a line from an object, like yourself, and then writing your name or sounding out the word sun for a picture of the sun. So n, and then remembering our phonics and what letter we would write when we associate for s and and n. We'll use those labels in our pictures to help inform when we go to write sentences on those writing pages later. So the more labeling in a picture we do, the easier it is to then write a sentence that matches that picture. So it's pretty cool. In math, we've practiced length comparison, rolling a 6 or even a 10-sided dice, where we then use some linking cubes, which I have right here, to make different towers, where we can then compare 2 towers based on which one. This 4 tower is clearly shorter than this 10 tower, and this 10 tower is clearly taller than this 4 tower, or longer and shorter as well. So we've been doing that and doing really well in using our words. Today, so you can see behind me, we are using bucket balances as we dive into heavier and lighter, so measuring weight as opposed to height when comparing and measuring things. We'll see how well that goes. We got lots of snow outside, so I imagine we're going to be vibrating ready for playtime, but this should be pretty good. Then, for our book that we've been reading, we've been working through our Choose Your Own Adventure, The Underground Kingdom. So we've had a few good endings and a few not so good endings, where once we made it all the way back up to the surface, where we started in Greenland and went home. Another one, we went down to the Underground Kingdom and we got eaten by some sort of crazy large tooth monster. And then another time we ended up crashing our raft. And a few of our good endings, we had one where we ended up getting back to some houses on Greenland and went home. Another one, we ended up floating on a raft all the way back up to the surface. So kind of cool. We end up using Post-its to put in bookmarks whenever we have a choice. So that way, if we decide, we're like, I don't know if this is a good choice, we use the Post-it to come back if we end up not liking our choice, or if the choice works out, but we want to see what happened if we chose differently, which has been a lot of what the students have really enjoyed, is discovering what happens if our choice had been different, which takes us into just our discussions around social emotional learning. What happens when we have choices, and how do those choices affect what happens next? So it's pretty important and kind of interesting how our chapter book that we're reading just during our snack time actually also helps us think about choices and consequences and life as a whole. Well, I hope you're having a fantastic time shoveling, or not shoveling, but it does look beautiful outside. So please stay safe, please stay warm. Please make sure your students are coming with all that great weather gear, and I hope you have a fantastic longer weekend. And thank you so much for Martin Luther King and all the work that he has done for justice and equality throughout our world. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.